All right, so on the locomotive and rolling stock side of things, um, I have pretty much my locomotive roster here. I can't really say it's active because although I put the wiring underneath, I haven't really hooked any of the track up except for some of the track in the back to test. But here's what I have so far. I've been collecting a little bit at a time. Most of my budget goes towards buying track. Got this little beauty on eBay for 75 bucks, a Bachmann Spectrum high wheeled or high drivered 460. I've wanted one of these for a very long time. It's one of the older Spectrums, one of the older when they first came out with a Spectrum line after they came out with the 280. Lot of separately applied details. It's got like a ton of detail. I don't really have time to go over all of it, but it's DC only. I'm gonna be putting a decoder in it, probably like a TCS decoder or lock sound decoder or something cool. This not sure if this will be my first decoder installation. I might try to pick a cheaper loco to test that out on, because these are hard to find if I mess it up. But yeah, that's my first one. And one of the reasons I wanted this, I've wanted this since I was like 16 when it first came out, and obviously now they're discontinued. But one of the reasons I wanted this because I'm a big fan of the Nevada Northern Railway also, and this locomotive is a pretty close replica of the Nevada Northern number 40. It's not exact, like you would have to do a little bit of kit bashing to make this a number 40, but I was actually really surprised that Bachmann didn't include the Nevada Northern number 40 in their lineup of road names when they came out with this, but it's really close to the number 40. So I always just liked that, just always liked this engine. This is my first sound engine. I got it about a year ago. It's the Bachmann Plus, it's not a Spectrum, but Bachmann Plus 260. Comes with the basically the cheaper version of the Tsunami sound. I have to say, for 130 bucks, this is not a bad buy. But I wouldn't pay more than 140, 150 for this engine, especially considering there's, what you have available out there to you. But if you want 260, it's a nice little runner at 128. If you set it for 128 speed steps, it runs really nice and slow with a power cab without any, changes to CVs or anything. I haven't changed anything on it. And another reason why I wanted this engine is because I've decided I want to collect all the engines that I have rode behind as far as like tourist trains and stuff. This engine is really close to the Strasburg Railroad 89. So I might, instead of actually having this engine on the roster as part of my railroad, I might actually kit bash this into a Strasburg 89 and try to make some Strasburg cars or something. But that's, that'll be down the road. So the next engine is a Spectrum 060. I got this for 35 bucks on eBay as well. It was pretty good condition. Nice little slow runner in DC. Doesn't have a decoder yet. It's going to be getting one. I wanted this engine because back when I was originally doing a lot of model railroading in my teens, I had this engine and the Bachmann Spectrum Shea from Cass, which is another engine that I want to pick up because I've ridden behind. I actually rode in the cab of Shea number 5, so I really want to get the Shea number 5 eventually. But this little engine is a great runner for as cheap as it is of a locomotive. It's probably Bachmann Spectrum's cheapest little steam locomotive for a Spectrum. A lot of individual details, even like your basically one judge of how detailed a steam locomotive is, you can go off of if they have separately applied sand lines, which if a company is going to make a detailed steam locomotive, they're going to have separately applied sand lines. You can have separately applied grab irons, cut levers, all that stuff. But if you don't have separately applied sand lines, I don't know, that's just my opinion. It's not detailed. Whereas you have the Bachmann Plus one, which lots of great detail, lots of rivet detail, but the sand lines are molded in as compared to the other Spectrum engine. But yeah, so I wanted to get this engine back because I had this engine and the Shay originally, and I sold them on eBay when I got into some other hobbies, and I just regretted it ever since. So I wanted to get both those engines back. Um, so another fascination that I have is like, I don't know how to say this, like toy train upgrades. So like these two hoppers here are actually Tyco hoppers, and um, you can't tell me those things don't look pretty awesome with weathering. Some of the weathering, I could probably do a lot better job on them than I did. But you can buy these things for about anywhere from $3 to $10 a piece on eBay. I don't think I would pay $10 for one, but I would definitely pay $3 all day long for these, and make a good, coal train or something from the 30s or the 40s without paying, 20, 30, $40 a coal car. And with a little bit of weathering, maybe some better trucks and some KD couplers, these things really, like, they shine up nice for as far as, for being an older, like, toy train. Basically, they do have some decent rivet detail for being a toy train. But I just always thought it would be cool to make a diorama and do some videos with like all Tyco stuff and try to see, if anybody could tell the difference, which I know most people probably are going to, especially if you go close up, you're going to be able to see it's not like separate grabs or anything. But these two cars is actually going to be a project of mine. I want to make a ballast train that actually applies the ballast to the track as you're running the train along. And I don't know how realistic that is, but that's the plan. So, and then I also got an old Bachmann flat car, which weathered up, doesn't look too bad. It's kind of nice and faded with a little bit of dusty rust, and a Silver Series caboose. And those are two Lifelike cars that aren't faded or anything yet. But on a more detailed and quality note, I got these Atlas. I think they're Silver Series or Gold Series, or Master Line. I can't remember. They're articulated auto racks, and these things are extremely high detailed. The only thing they don't have on a lot of other auto racks is they don't have the opening doors on the end, but all separately applied grab irons. They have this is actually a rubber diaphragm, and it's not sitting straight because the track that I have it sitting on is not straight. But these are extremely heavy cars, and they roll really well. I bought them because I wanted some kind of a car that would establish like a high clearance for my railroad, because all the stuff I have is steam era, and I want to run more modern stuff on my railroad. So I needed something quick. So I grabbed actually a pair of these. So I have four of them. I have two of them are sitting on the other side of the layout. But these things, I'm extremely impressed with these. And then I have one last thing for the motive power, and it comes with a little announcement. So my family, my wife and my two boys and I are going on a train trip on an Amtrak train home for Thanksgiving. We decided instead of driving, why not take the train? And I had seen the new Athearn ready to roll. It was a P42 locomotives that came out, and I thought, I just have to have one of those. And especially being in the military myself, I thought I have to have the veterans unit. So I got the veterans unit engine. This has not been out of the box yet, and I'm thinking I might do an unboxing in an actual train station at Washington, D.C. So we'll see about that. but I'm also going to be documenting the train trip that I'm going to be going on, so you can see what it's like to ride inside of a it's either a Superliner or I can't remember what the other one that Amtrak runs is. But this is really cool. I can't wait to unbox this and run it for the first time. It's DCC ready, so yeah, I'll have to get a decoder for it. But that's going to be another project. But this video is already getting long, so that about wraps everything up. If you're building the layout and you're using Central Valley Track, feel free to shoot me a message. Doing trial and error with this stuff, and maybe we can do some networking or something. And please like and subscribe, especially if you want to see the Veterans Unit unboxed at the Washington, D.C. Union Station. Hopefully that'll be a cool video. So thanks again, and later.